back to my YouTube channel. My name is Daria and today we're going to be talking about boundaries. So pretty much boundaries are what is okay and what is not okay. So a lot of people actually struggle with this, me included, and it's something that I've been really passionate about researching at the moment. So what I aim to do today is just be able to give you guys some tips and make you more aware of boundaries and what you can do to implement them into your life. Before we get started, I just want to remind you guys to please subscribe to my YouTube channel as it does help my YouTube channel to grow. Also, just to give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. I'll also leave my Instagram account here for you to check out if you'd like to do so. I just want to let you guys know that I've hit 100 subscribers on YouTube, so I'm super excited about that and I'm loving the momentum we have going so far. So hopefully that can continue to grow as I keep making more videos. Also, just a little disclaimer before I get started. Sorry if this is like a weird camera angle and lighting. It is nighttime here at the moment and I am using my brother's rubbish bin as a like tripod kind of thing because I didn't bring my tripod home to Tasmania and I did get burnt today, so my face is probably looking a little red, but we'll just roll with it. Come on guys. As I was saying before, boundaries are what is acceptable to us and what is not acceptable. So when setting boundaries, we can often worry that if we set a boundary, it may affect our friendship with that person, or we're just worried about their reaction as well. What a lot of people find is that they're afraid of saying no to people and it can cause a lot of anxiety and overwhelm. I personally find this and have struggled with setting boundaries for this reason. However, it's essential to create these boundaries because at the end of the day, you are setting them for your own well-being and it's important to take care of yourself first so that you can and are able to do things for other people. So there's actually this quote that I really love by Brené Brown, and that is, daring to set boundaries is about having courage to love ourselves even when we risk disappointing others. And I just think that's a really lovely quote and really sums up boundaries and why boundaries are important. Boundaries are a skill and they're something that do become easier over time. It's just something that you do need to practice. Saying no to people isn't selfish, it's an act of self-love and it's something that is so important for your own well-being and something that you need to make a priority. So I'm probably really going to botch this, but a quote I love is by Dr. Sanem Eren, and I'm just going to read it out off my phone because I don't want to stuff it up. But the quote is, "I and I alone am responsible for my own well-being. Saying no to requests of my time and energy for things that I do not want to be doing is exactly what I need to do to love, respect, and honor my body and being." I read that and I was like, hell yes. Why do I not think of this in every situation I get myself into where I'm just afraid of saying no because of what other people are going to react to what I say? And I'm like, girl, come on. Like, I'm so bad at saying no to things. I literally get stressed out. And what I personally do is when I'm confronted with a situation and I'm just not sure how I feel about it, I always go to other people for advice, which is one of the tips that I will be telling you about after, but that's what I always do. And I look for approval from other people instead of just backing my own decision and knowing in myself that it's something that I don't want to do. I look for approval, which is very interesting. But that quote, I was just like, why put my time and energy into something if it's not serving me and it's not really what I want to do? There are many benefits to setting boundaries. For starters, it helps raise your self-esteem and it also builds on your independence and your ability to stand up for yourself. Setting boundaries can also mean that you're conserving your emotional energy because it's something that can become quite draining if you're constantly saying yes to people. In saying this, there are also certain types of people that you should be avoiding. So you should avoid people who mess with your head and also people who intentionally and repeatedly do or say things that they know upset you. You just don't want to surround yourself with those kind of people, and it can also become quite a drain on you, especially if it's becoming quite constant and consistent. You should also avoid people who expect you to prioritize them but they don't do the same for you. If there isn't an even give and take, you'll become very overwhelmed and you just won't feel appreciated, and this can become quite demeaning to your well-being. You should also steer clear of people who don't apologize sincerely or that you can't approach about certain issues, or when they have crossed the boundary and you're not able to address them openly to work on it. You don't want to be hanging out with people that you can't confidently confide in and sort an issue out with. Giving at the cost of yourself can actually become a really bad experience and it can cause you to burn out. An example Dr. Sanem Aran uses is about a car running on empty. Normally in these situations we ignore it and we keep driving because we want to get more kilometers out of the car instead of stopping and refueling. But it is so important to listen to what your body is saying so that you can be your best self and feel energized and refreshed. If we aren't feeling our best self, how can we expect to be able to give to others? When this is the case, we need to be able to set boundaries. So there are 10 steps that I'm going to be going through, and these are the steps that are going to help you create your boundaries. The first step is to know your limits. This is what you find acceptable and what you can tolerate. These are the things that you don't become overwhelmed or stressed with, and that'll be a good gauge of where your boundaries should be. So the second step is to listen to your gut. So if someone does or says something that makes you feel uncomfortable, that's a cue that a boundary may have been crossed. It's important to trust your instincts and trust your gut and what that is telling you. So step number 3 is to be direct. You need to let people know what your boundaries are so that they can be known and people know when they have crossed a boundary, so that, yeah, you can stay within your limits. So step number 4 is to give yourself permission. You may fear someone else's response when you do set a boundary and choose to enforce it, but it's a sign of self-respect and a sign of a healthy relationship when you choose to set a boundary and also to give yourself permission to work on it and preserve that boundary. So step number 5 is to practice self-awareness. It's all about honing in on your feelings before saying yes to someone. So always check in with yourself first and just make sure that you want to say yes before you do it. Don't say yes to something that you don't actually want to do. Step number 7 is to make yourself a priority. So this is all about standing up for yourself and putting yourself first. When we do this, we improve our need and our motivation to set boundaries and to enforce them. Putting yourself first gives you the energy and the positive outlook to be more present for others and to be there for them. When we are in a better place, we are able to be a better sister, a better co-worker, and a better friend, as you probably get my drift, so on, so on. Step number 8 is to seek support. This is all about going to a friend or someone you trust if you are feeling a bit overwhelmed, if you do have a decision to make regarding a boundary. This is something I exercise a lot. I'll just go to a friend and I'll level out with them. And I'll just talk through whether it's something that I do want to actually do or if it's something I feel obligated to do. So then I know whether it's right for me or not. Step number 9 is to be assertive. So once you've set a boundary, you need to tell people what that boundary is, because people aren't mind readers if you hadn't figured that out already. You need to let them know what it is so that they know if they've crossed it or not. Once you've done this, obviously the person's going to know what the boundary is and when they have crossed it. So if they have crossed it, you can both address it and be aware of the issue. So step number 10 is to start small and build on it. Setting boundaries takes a lot of courage, support, and practice. So just start by setting your boundaries and just keep on working on it day by day and you'll get better and get there in the end. I know setting boundaries can be stressful, but it is a brief stress. Brief. It doesn't last forever. You should never feel obligated to say yes to someone just to keep the peace in a situation. That is a no deal from me. Your story is literally being shaped by what you choose to say yes to and what you choose to say no to. So setting boundaries is something that I definitely recommend, and it's something that will make you a lot less stressed. If you set boundaries, you can take care of yourself first, and then therefore you're able to be a better friend or whatever to other people. So that is all I have to say. Hopefully this helped you. It is something that was such an eye-opener for me and a really big issue in my life. So doing a lot of research about it was so beneficial to me, and I definitely recommend it for anyone who is struggling with setting boundaries or feeling just underappreciated, I suppose. But I can also definitely recommend to you guys podcasts and stuff like that that have helped me. But please remember to give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. But that's all from me, and see you next time, lovelies. Have a beautiful day and bye.
So tell me who's gonna love you like I do? Who's gonna touch you like I do? Who's gonna love you like I do?